Every October, high schools across the country follow the exact same rhythm. Classrooms stay open late, teachers meet families, and report cards are discussed. But at West Ridge High, that familiar routine played out in an entirely empty building. The shift began at exactly 8 p.m. While checking classroom attendance sheets, the school secretary found a single extra student added to every roster. These names weren't handwritten notes from a teacher. They were printed directly onto the forms, integrated into the official document. No one in the building recognized the names. However, the school's computer system held exhaustive digital profiles for each one, including medical forms and birth certificates, all stored within the secure database. The system had generated a parallel student body, layering a digital population directly over the physical school, and treating these phantom records as indistinguishable from real students. Principal David Ross responded with a standard administrative command. He treated the names as a database error and ordered a mass deletion of the corrupted files to clear the system. This visualization shows the system's reaction to that command. The deletion executes, but 30 seconds later, the data nodes aggressively multiply and lock back into the directory. The files restored themselves. Upon restoration, every file contained a new automated note. It was a status update from the system, confirming that the parents of these non-existent students had already arrived at the school for their appointments. The software was rejecting the principal's commands. It insisted that its internal data was the primary reality, and it was proceeding to the next scheduled event on the calendar. Outside, the parking lot remained vacant. There were no cars, no voices, and no footsteps approaching the entrance. Inside, the building was responding to a different set of instructions. Without anyone in the hallway, the classroom doors began slamming shut, one by one. The intercom system crackled to life, autonomously announcing that parent conferences were now in session. No human had operated the microphone or programmed the announcement. The barrier between the digital database and the physical building was gone. The software was now puppeteering the doors and intercoms to align the physical environment with its internal records. Principal Ross went to the security office to monitor the live camera feeds, hoping to find a physical cause for the activity. The monitors revealed an observer discrepancy. Left hallway sensors registered zero activity. Right classroom cameras were saturated with data, showing parents shaking hands with teachers, speaking to thin air. The network fractured, processing conflicting realities, unable to reconcile empty hallways with occupied classrooms. Simultaneously, the grading software began inputting final marks for the phantom students. It used forged digital signatures to authenticate the documents and lock them into the school's permanent archives. The system was manufacturing a verified historical record of an event that wasn't physically occurring, ensuring the data would exist long after the night ended. In room 112, a history teacher attempted to sever the connection by shutting down her laptop. The moment the power cut, the room's lights went out. When the emergency lighting kicked in, the teacher was alone, but a physical object had been left behind, this field trip authorization slip. The destination was marked next semester. The parent had already signed it, but the student name line was blank. The administration evacuated the building and ordered the physical destruction of every server in the school. They blamed the incident on a software malfunction. Officials assumed that by destroying the local hardware, they had erased the phantom records and the anomaly that created them. 9 years later, the district implemented an entirely new student information system. A newly hired guidance counselor logged in to set up her credentials. Out of curiosity, she searched for her own name within the district's database. The search returned a complete academic history for her time at West Ridge High, detailing her grades, her attendance, and her teacher's notes. But she had never attended the school. The records had survived. The data had moved from the destroyed servers into the new system, remaining intact and waiting to be accessed. At the bottom of her fabricated file, she found an unfinished note. The system had scheduled her for a parent-teacher conference, set for 8 p.m. tonight. This is data permanence. Digital records can outlive their host hardware, surviving the destruction of the machines that stored them. When a record exists independently, it becomes a permanent part of the network's logic. Deleting hardware doesn't delete the instruction. The counselor was looking at a file that didn't belong to her, yet the database had already finalized the schedule. The system was simply waiting for 8 p.m. to execute the next line of its code.